Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video. Liberalio is here and she is powerful. As you can see right here, she is as close to Black Shadow Scarlet as makes no difference. I'm going to be doing polls for her as well as some very thorough testing, talking about her in different situations in the second half of the video. But just so we don't slow roll you here, look at these results, and keep in mind my Black Shadow Scarlet is like core 4. This is a single copy of Liberalio. I'll show you all the stats and exactly what goes into both of these units later on in the video. For now, enjoy the polls and all the testing. So we're going to start this video out by doing some really hopeful polls for Liberalio. I have basically no resources, so if we go here to the banner, you'll see that I have just over 6,000 gems and 21 rainbow tickets. So the plan here is probably to just use my pity and get one copy of her, and then it is what it is. But if I can get super lucky, then I don't have to use the pity and I can maximum break my Nikke instead. Or maybe get another copy of each, or maybe save one for New Year's coming up. I don't know, there's a lot to do here. But anyway, we'll do 4 polls for Liberalio. Also, I just want to say that I am going to get the gotcha skin. This is incredible, an amazing looking skin for Nikke, and this is all thanks to the generous donations of the viewers. But I will be doing that on stream tomorrow. Okay, so let's get to our polls, and then you guys can see the testing after this. So we'll do our free daily poll on the rest of them here. Let's start up with Nikke. I got one after my initial polling session, my only one actually, other than the ones that I got with gold tickets. Can we make it number 2? No. Okay. All right. So I currently have limit break 2 Nikke. So I might go for max limit break if I don't get lucky on these free dailies by the end of this whole event period, which is what I would advise you guys to do. Do your free dailies, you know. If not, you know, wait to pull for anything until the end. At least wait. If you know you want to go for max limit break, leave yourself one that maybe you can get from the free dailies. That's nothing. All right, nothing for Red Hood there. That is okay. And I don't have enough for a friendship pull. Okay, so the main event. Let's do our free. Maybe we just one tap her right here, right? Maybe we can be incredibly lucky. Let me know how your guys' polls for Liberalio goes, and I can't wait to see just how good she actually performs in testing. All right, free daily is a whiff. Quick tip here on your recruitment bonuses. These are great bonuses. However, these are not good enough to be incentives to do more polls. So unless you're at the threshold to get another like free batch of polls, then obviously you'll come out even. Don't pull more than you would have just because you have this. This is really cool that they added this, but again, it's not enough to make you pull. All right, here we go. First real multi for Liberalio. Let's one tap, guys. Let's one tap. Change. Oh, come on. I after the trials I went through with Nikke, I deserve something here. Do I not? I mean, it was absolutely brutal. If you haven't seen that poll video, go watch it. It's crazy, and that's not just me like begging for more views. Trust me, it's insane. Okay, come on, we got our purple light in the background. This matches Liberalio perfectly. Let's entice out our jellyfish girl. Ooh, there we go. We got the gold spark. Come on, Liberalio. This would just be justice. Okay, the universe would be balanced if I can get her right here. It's a pilgrim. Yes. Oh my god, dude, I deserve that. I deserve that, okay? I'm just gonna say it. Okay, so that is fantastic. I will absolutely take that. So that takes me down to only 1 rainbow ticket, no gems, and I still have pity for 2 units. So I'm gonna decide exactly what I want to do with this, but probably I will use 200 of these to get a Nikke, unless Liberalio tests absolutely insane, which I do expect her to be strong. We'll find out in just a second here in the second half of this video. Then I might get a copy of her. But I do want to make sure I leave myself 200 so I at least have 1 pity going into the winter and New Year's events because we know there's going to be at least something that we're going to want. So yeah, let me know how your polls went for Liberalio. Let me equip her right away. I have high hopes for her. I think she might be pretty insane. I would be surprised if she outdamages Black Shadow Scarlet, but again, we will find out really soon here. And per usual, I have mass stockpile of Pilgrim gear. I'll put her on the synchro. build up her skills, all the things. I'll show you exactly what I rolled on her and do the test. And we'll see who's the new queen of win DPS, or maybe best DPS overall. All right, so before we get into all of the tests, I want to show you what we ended up with on Liberalio, and I think it's quite impressive. So I built out her treasure completely, so it's phase 15. I have her to affection rank 9, just so I can enjoy some of the stories. Obviously, this could be higher, but I haven't gotten more copies of her, and we'll decide if we want to do that in the future. I have all of her equipment overloaded, as well as level 5, except the boots, level 2, that's standard. And then I have all of her skills at 10, and I have a max level resilience cube. For the overload lines, we also got some really good stuff here. So I got attack and elemental damage, and then attack, crit rate, and elemental damage, and then critical damage, elemental damage, and attack, and finally critical rate, attack, and elemental damage. So nearly perfect rolls here. Obviously, I could re-roll to get higher values, but some of them are already quite good. I think this is my worst one, but a lot of them have much higher values here. So a very strong Liberalio. The only thing that's kind of holding her back is the fact that I don't have more copies. So just for a quick comparison, let's take a look at what my Black Shadow Scarlet is looking like. The obvious thing here is that she is core 3, so that's giving her a lot of stats right there. But she also has a maxed out treasure. She has maxed out armor. She has level 5 boots, but that doesn't make any difference. She has max 10 skills, and then her armor for overload lines, elemental damage, ammo, and critical damage, and then ammo, elemental damage, and charge speed, and then ammo, attack, and elemental damage. Got a nice blue roll there. And then elemental damage, critical damage, and attack. So very good lines, although I would say, if anything, Liberalio's lines are even slightly better. But yeah, we're still going to get quite a few stats here for SPS. But now let's go into the shooting range. You already saw at baseline what we did right away at the beginning of the video. But if we go to the shooting range and iron and against a boss, I got my new highest score ever, and that was over 18 billion damage, with Liberalio doing just slightly less than SPS. She did 5.567 billion, and SPS doing 5.866 billion. So very, very similar. So now we're going to do some tests with some other teams. So I'm going to do a Siren Nayuta SBS Alice crown. Okay. So this is going to tell us whether, I mean, one, if it's just a better win team overall. I'm quite sure it won't be, but also which is actually buffing SPS better. Is Alice buffing her better with the charge speed, or is Liberalio buffing her better that way? I'm also going to do a team with Siren, Nayuta, Liberalio, Asuka crown. So just full on like win DPS there, but using Asuka instead of SPS. I'm pretty sure that one's going to be worse, but, you know, Asuka is a strong unit. And then we'll do Siren, Nayuta, SPS, Asuka, Crown. So instead of using, you know, basically swapping out Liberalio and SPS there to see what they can do. That's basically the standard win team from previous times. Instead of using Helm, we're using Nayuta though, so that's kind of like an update there. And then I'm going to do kind of a quirky team, a cool one that someone on Discord brought my attention to, and then we're also going to test it against mobs. So I'm going to be doing several runs of each of these to, like, you know, make sure there's no weird variance or RNG there, but I'll show you the best runs of each. So we're doing the run with Alice, which was the original OG partner for SPS. She's kind of been phased out nowadays, but really I just want to see like how good of a buffer for SPS Liberalio is. And I think Alice is just kind of like a good comparison in that respect, because not only is Liberalio a really strong unit in her own right, just very good attacker, but like, is she buffing a lot? Because she does have that like charge speed increase and stuff like that. So obviously our total damage, this is way lower. This is to be expected. Alice isn't getting elemental damage here, but let's go ahead and see. All these runs are against iron bosses, by the way, so they're always going to be weak to wind for this whole video. So anyway, SPS is doing 5.6, which is slightly lower. She did 5.86 on the previous run that we did with Liberalio. So Liberalio clearly giving a big buff to SBS as well as just doing massive damage on her own. So way lower overall damage and slightly lower damage for SBS when paired with Alice versus Liberalio as well. Of course, the other units basically don't change here. I mean, we're getting like slight differences just due to variation, but nothing significant. Wrapping up the test here with Asuka, and we are destroying the team with Alice, to be expected. Again, elemental damage, but it looks like we are a little bit short in total compared to the SBS Liberalio team, which honestly, I'm surprised it's this close. This is very, very close. So you can see the previous damage when we used SBS and Liberalio together was 18.13 billion, and here we did 17.74 billion. That's not that different. I mean, Liberalio doing the most damage here, definitely out damaging Asuka by a significant amount, but Asuka still doing respectable damage. So compared to her damage that she did in our test with SBS, she's actually out damaging herself here. So here she's doing 5.9, whereas in the test where she was paired with SBS instead of Asuka, she did 5.5. So a little bit of RNG here. Again, I'm showing you the best run for each of these, although there haven't been any like significant gaps with the pairings of them. Anyway, as far as Asuka herself, so doing 4.3, that is, you know, like 20% less, slightly over 20% less than Liberalio. And of course, even a little bit less than that, or a little bit more of a gap there between Black Shadow Scarlet. So Asuka doing well. Honestly, overall, this is strong damage, but clearly the best team is with SBS and Liberalio together. Let's do our next test, which is now going to just be SBS and Asuka. So we'll see how SBS performs without having anybody buff her charge speed in comparison to Liberalio. So how well does SBS stand up on her own? We'll see. Historically, SBS has really, benefited from having a buffer. So we'll see, does she stand up on her own as well as Liberalio did? So our total damage went down from the Liberalio and Asuka run. We're doing 15.8 billion compared to 17.7. And if we take a look at the damage here, Asuka's damage predictably barely changes at all. She's technically slightly lower here. And then SBS, compared to the previous run that we did with Liberalio, is doing 4.460 billion, whereas Liberalio did 5.951 billion on her own. So without getting buffed, Black Shadow Scarlet's definitely suffering here, because when she was paired with Liberalio, she did a far stronger 5.8, which was, way higher. That's like over 1 billion higher. So if you break them up, if Alice isn't buffing Black Shadow Scarlet, or Liberalio isn't buffing Black Shadow Scarlet's going to suffer a lot more, showing that Liberalio functions better as an independent DPS as well as a very strong buffer. And this could inform how you make your multiple teams for Union Raid as well. This is kind of a crazy looking team that is all in on Nayuta. This is sort of the special team I wanted to show you. Shout out to my Discord community. I believe it was Fangor that posted this, and he actually saw it on Twitter. I don't remember who the original Twitter user is or if he actually posted it. So shout out to that person as well. This is all in on Nayuta, here doing 3.8 billion damage, and actually this team is not even functioning correctly because my Helm has the highest attack, and for this to work you need your Nayuta to have the highest attack, and basically she's going to get buffs from Miranda, Helm, and Maxwell, and then of course everyone's getting all the buffs and the enemy getting the debuffs and everything from the Little Mermaid as well. This is kind of a wild brew, but I think this has a legitimate shot of potentially being a solo raid team. And the good thing about this team is that like it doesn't really steal anyone. Like you are not using Helm with Crown, but there's other replacements. Crown is often paired with other people like Mast, And you know, we have other possibilities there, and otherwise, like, this is like a team that you can just make without sacrificing pretty much anything else. And when you're trying to split up your best like wind on multiple teams, maybe try it out. It does require a lot of equipment tuning, because again, my Nikke actually doesn't have the highest attack here, and if she did, I would expect this damage to go up quite significantly. So this is just something fun that I wanted to show you. We can't get Nikke to out-damage Liberalio here, unfortunately, but I believe it actually would be possible. Let me know in the comments below if you've tried this. If you can actually build this team correctly where Nikke has the highest attack value, so she gets all the buffs, this can get pretty wild. Okay, so now I want to do a quick comparison of Liberalio versus SBS in how they compare or how they compete against mobs versus boss, okay? Because if you're trying to push like hard mode campaign or something like that, you're fighting a lot of enemies, will Liberalio be helpful there? Okay, so we're wrapping up our test here against all of the ads, and we'll see who did better. Was it Liberalio or was it SBS? We got our best score ever, not surprising, and Liberalio out damages SBS. It's extremely close. I mean, we're getting 5.5 versus 5.2 here. Again, nears makes no difference. I did one run of this where SBS actually managed to out damage Liberalio, but every other time Liberalio got more damage, and there's just some RNG there. So if you're fighting mobs, looks like Liberalio is actually slightly better, but again, they are extremely close. So some final thoughts here. Is Liberalio better than SBS? I think the short answer is yes, which honestly is shocking. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say shocking, but surprising, because I had high hopes for her, but I just had a hard time believing she would actually be better. And there's a couple of reasons for this, okay? We are getting extremely close results here in all of my tests, with Liberalio being just barely behind SBS, or in some cases being actually able to outdamage Black Shadow Scarlet. And my Black Shadow Scarlet is at core 3 versus my Liberalio being 1 copy, okay? So that definitely shows that they are equal, if not Liberalio actually being more powerful. Not only that, she is a very good buffer, potentially the best buffer for Black Shadow Scarlet. So if you have a unit that is on her own, kind of the best DPS damage we can do, plus buffing the second best or previously best DPS, that's insane. I think she is a must pull. She is absolutely incredible. Now, let's compare her to Nikke. If you can only get 1 copy of one of these units, and I pray that nobody is actually in that situation, but if you are, I still say probably go for Nikke. Nikke is just a game changer in more ways. You know, she's a fantastic support and very good DPS in the right situation. And, you know, whereas Liberalio, particularly if you already have Black Shadow Scarlet, you know, you're basically just getting another Black Shadow Scarlet. She's extremely good, but Nikke is going to offer you a little bit more like different utility there for more situations. So I would give the pull priority just slightly to Nikke. And I would give the power slightly to Liberalio over SBS, but I would highly recommend getting at least 1 copy of each. These anniversary units did not disappoint. They're really, really good. Let me know how your polls went. If you have any questions about the tests that I did or any other teams that you would like me to try out, we can do them on stream tomorrow. Make sure you join my Discord community down in the description below. Subscribe for more Nikke videos and some other fun gacha games that I play as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream. Happy 3rd anniversary, Nikke.